Alright. There's no need to fear because the underdog is here, and I'm back to bring you some more Blaster Master. This time we are on Area 4. Last time, if you remember, we were riding. We are in some weird. We are in some weird territory, and tight territory, rather. Now, I read up about this. As you can see by the layout of land, yes, this place is quite, and I do mean quite, tight. So therefore, you're going to have to use your hover very sparingly. So really, we've already went the right way, and there's a lock there, so we can't get through. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to go the left route and see what develops here. Of course, since this is one of those areas in which it's going to get real tight, we're going to make sure that we don't end up falling in the water. Because believe it or not, yes, you do fall in the water. I think we've been here before. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out of this area and explore deeper. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm smelling shenanigans as we're going in on lower ground. Yeah, I think this level is giving us a hint. Since it is a sewer, subterranean, it looks like a sewer. I don't think the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have lived here, but I do think something amphibious of in the Animal Kingdom does live here. So what you're going to have to do is be careful when you drop down here. Like I said, this is one of those areas in which it gets very tight. So what we're going to do is we are going to basically drop down, see what develops here. Like I said, we're using hover is very sparse, so we're not going to rely on hover. However, shoot these extra enemies for extra hover if you need to refill. And like I said, you know, using hover is you can use hover here, but I suggest going about using it. Now, I think I haven't gone into the history of this game, but allow me to go into the history of this game. Blaster Master is one of the very few games that have been mentioned, but many of us during the course of the 80s have heard of it, and we have played it in some shape or form. And I do mean some shape or form because it has been ported from Nintendo, Game Boy, I also believe there's a Genesis port of Blaster Master. There has been the original, based off the original Japanese port, Chowakusei Metafight. Then its sequel, which of course was on the Game Boy Advance, called Blaster Master Boy, which is a direct sequel to the original. Then there's Blaster Master 2. And then there's, I think there was another one for PlayStation. It was a next generation Blaster Master, I know that. And then there's Overdrive. Now, since we are in what seems to be the main dungeon, we're carefully, and I do mean carefully, traveling through this dungeon, taking out all these bad guys. And back to what I was saying about Blaster Master. There's also one for the Wii console. Which is Overdrive. And perhaps what I can do, once I get my Wii online, is see if I can download that and just try it a bit. So really, Sunsoft has really loved this series, and it is a personal favorite of mine. Like I said, when I was a kid, I actually had the book series, one of the Worlds of Power books, and one of them happened to be Blaster Master, which I found to be cool because I never read a book based off a video game, and plus it being done so well, I couldn't deny the fact that hey, I loved Blaster Master, and I never did beat the game. I never got this far like I'm doing now. So, about 22 something years later, here's our next boss. And the next boss happens to be... Hold on. Fred? Fred, you've been a naughty froggy. Yes, that happens to be your frog. That happens to be your frog, Fred. There's a trick to hitting him, and that trick lies when he sticks out his tongue. Yeah, what you're seeing here is I'm trying that same move which is when he starts flashing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 20 seconds. And after you beat Fred, you get the key. So what are we going to do? We're going to crawl back down here. Hit back. And as you see, we have the key. So now we can get through. So why don't we work ourselves all the way back to where we were before, and of course stay here and grind for hover capsules. Yeah, believe it or not, yes. That trick can only work on certain bosses. So if anybody were to ask me, was that cheating? I said, no, it's not cheating. It's an old trick I remember from when I was a kid. And you only try it 4 times. So, after you finish grinding, we must ride ourselves back into the weirdness. And of course, fly ourselves back up. Casually jumping upwards. And of course, grinding for more hover. Now, a good thing about when you get hover is your jumping increases. But like I said, it also uses hover. So that's why whenever I jump, it's very sparingly that I had to jump. Today was quite an unusual day. Managed to get some groceries. And it was funny how this all happened, mind you. Here I was in the store, picking up groceries for the house, and of course I go to... I'm like on my way out, mind you. I'm like on my way out, and this woman, who I believe was, you know, she was, she worked. The only thing she wasn't getting her money, so. Naturally, you know, I listened to her. I said, yeah, okay, fine, sure, whatever. So she waited for me at the front of the store, and she was very understanding about what I was going through. I was, you know, buying stuff for the house, you know, groceries, foods, you know, I was buying food and such for the house. So, yes, why am I mentioning this during a Let's Play? I don't know, because I have a life. I don't know. Anyway, what I was mentioning was she was so understanding that when I actually got to the line, see, instantly you have a key, and that key will unlock those very locks you see there. But anyway, we're going up, and being as little Jason here, we must simply carefully go down and work our way back to our destination, and that will lead us to Area 5. So, join me in our next exciting episode when we take on Area 6. More Blaster Master after this.